In this lesson, you will be able to define human development and its characteristics from lifespan perspective. Distinguish between the traditional and lifespan approach of human development using a Venn diagram. Appreciate how human is developed. Let me start with this quote by Ashley Montagu. By virtue of being born to humanity, every human being has a right to the development and fulfillment of his potentials as a human being. This means that every living creature is called to become what it is meant to be. The caterpillar is meant to become a butterfly, a seed into a full-grown herb, bush or tree, and a human into a mature person, the person who is fully alive. The process of development involves beginnings and endings, like us, human being, from fetus to a grown person. Our life started from being born as a baby, and our life ends when we die. This is our nature. At this point, let's have first a group activity. So I will divide you into two groups. So I have here a picture of a 7-year-old Nikki and a 3-year-old Ken. Each one is a bundle of possibilities, so please observe the picture of Nikki and Ken. Describe what they were before birth or their point of origin, and who they will be possibly after birth and to adulthood. What will they possibly become? What do you think will possibly they become in the future? Then after thought, you will share your observation with your groupmates. After listening to the predictions given by your groupmates, let me ask you, when you give your own predictions as to the kind of child, adolescent, and adult Nikki and Ken may become and hypothesize on who they once were, you're referring to human development. In this lesson, we will discuss about human development, meaning, concepts, and approaches. But before that, let us first define these following words: growth and development. Growth is the increase in physical size of a whole or any of its parts. Growth can be measured. So a perfect example of growth is the increase of size of height and the increased weight of the child. Development, on the other hand, is continuous, orderly series of conditions that leads to activity, new motives for activities and patterns of behavior. Unlike growth, development can be measured. Anything that happened to us in terms of conditions that leads to the activities like the different skills in reading and writing. We know how to read and write. We know how to walk when we were still a child. Those things refers to development. Again, development cannot be measured, unlike with growth. Now, the question is, what is human development? Human development refers to the psychological and biological growth of a human being throughout life. It starts from infancy all the way to adulthood. This means that human development consists of the development from the day we're born, from infancy, childhood, adolescence to adulthood. In these stages of our lives, there are a lot of changes in our body, not just in physical aspect. Human development includes growth and decline. Growth, it is the positive, while the decline refers to the negative. Like when we grow older, we have the growth, the positive changes in our body. And when we grow older during the late adulthood, we undergo decline stage or the negative. Example is from the straight and erect body nga magbarugta to magsungkod or nangayuko nata when we walk. So those are the definitions of the growth and development and, of course, human development. Now let's proceed to the two approaches to human development. The two approaches to human development is the traditional and lifespan approach. Traditional approach emphasized change from birth to adolescence, stability in adulthood, and decline in old age. In this approach, individuals will show extensive change from birth to adolescence, but little or no change in adulthood and declined in late old age. Look at the illustration. This shows an extensive change from birth until adolescent. While kung mapadulong ka sa adulthood until late adulthood, there's a little or no change. This kind of approach is called traditional approach. The second approach to human development is the lifespan approach. In this approach, human development occurs all throughout the lifespan of an individual. This approach is opposite to the traditional approach. In this approach, di nilang nimo kaayo mahalata ang change because equally ra ang development and change throughout the stages. Aside from the two approaches to human development, there are characteristics of human development from a lifespan perspective according by Paul Beltas. First characteristic of human development from a lifespan perspective is development is lifelong. Development does not end by adulthood, and no development age dominates the development. As we grow, it doesn't mean that it will just stop during our childhood or adulthood. We will continue developing even until adulthood. The only thing that can stop our development is when we die. Second, development is plastic. Plasticity refers to the potential for change. This means that development is possible throughout the lifespan as long as we are alive. Always remember that no one is too old to learn. As long as you are willing and eager to learn, then you can. Third characteristic to human approach in a lifespan perspective is that development is multidimensional. Development consists of biological, cognitive, and social-emotional dimensions. This means that our development as a process is complex. Biological process involve changes in individuals physically. It involves growth and changes in the body and brain, the senses, motor skills, and health and wellness. An example of biological process involves like from a little child na mag-grow pa ta until magkatunta nga bulakaw. Cognitive process involves in the individual's thought, intelligence, and language. From a mere sound that we produced to a word becoming two words, the two words becoming a sentence. Social-emotional process also include changes in the individual's relationship with other people, changes in emotions, and changes in personality. Like when we are still a child, mo kalit na lang ta og smile into the people nga ato ang katagbo. Then mo kalit ra pud tag mo hilak. So there are changes in emotions. Then as we grow older, so from the baby nga giingon nila nga from sip-unon to hangtod nga madaga na arti na kaayo. So mo na mga changes in personality. Fourth characteristic is development is contextual. Individuals are changing beings in a changing world. Nothing is permanent in this world. Everything is temporary, wala gyoy permanente. Individuals are changing beings in a changing world. This means that we respond to an act and context. We are now in the 21st century, wherein technology is advanced. So, we need to adjust and adapt to what is in our environment. Our biological makeup, social and cultural context may vary and therefore make them develop differently from each other. The last characteristics of human development from a lifespan perspective is that development involves growth, maintenance, and regulation. These are considered goals in that varies in every developmental change. As individuals reach middle and late adulthood, concern with growth gets into the back stage, while the maintenance and regulation take the center stage. This means that when we reach the middle and late adulthood, mo backstage na ang growth. Nakadungog mo ng storya nga, ayaw na sige og katulog oy kay 20 na ka, dili na ka motubo. Because under sa middle and late adulthood is the maintenance and regulations will take the center of the stage instead of growth. That's why in this stage daghan na ta og mga gipamati. When we're still daga og litaw pa, pampagwapa og pampagwapo ang dadon. But at this time, haplas na. This is our nature. So those are the characteristics of human development from a lifespan perspective. Thank you so much.